Okay. We're live? Am I live? We're good? Yeah. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the SilviaFindings Wednesday morning live stream event thing. We do this every Wednesday morning, 10:30 Pacific time, extrapolated out to whatever your time zone is. That's when we're live, but these things stay up after the fact. So if you're not watching now, maybe you're watching in the future. But if you're watching now, welcome. Good morning. My name is Mark. I'll be your SilviaFindings live stream presenter this morning, today. Lovely August morning. Nice and hot in Vancouver again, which is nice. It's good if you like that kind of thing. Today, we're going to talk about clasps. And I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully, again, I can try to keep this around an hour. I know that's long for a lot of people, but hopefully there'll be some interesting things that you haven't seen before, some information maybe that you didn't know. Hopefully you'll see something that you hadn't seen in our inventory before, and that prompts you to say, hey, I better buy that. And if you're interested in purchasing anything during the live stream, please know that you get free standard shipping for anything that you buy here. What else, Marvel? Oh, I thought Marvel's writing notes. I thought he was going to write me a note. Anyway, Marvel's here monitoring the chat, so if you type a question or have any comments, feel free to jump in and just type something in the live chat. If you're wanting to place an order, you can either do that, probably not through you could do it through the chat if you want to, but you can take that directly to private messages. Like I said, somebody will be monitoring the stream as we go. If you share this video, this live stream with any friends or anybody, let us know. Actually, I think we know anyway. We'll find out that so-and-so shared the stream. I will send you one of these free polishing cloths. That's a straight up and down. So one more thing before we get started on the clasps. I'm just going to talk quickly about just one or two things. One thing about shipping, how shipping is going. Still the same, slowdowns. Everything is slow. We're still having relatively great shipping into the U.S., not experiencing some slowdowns despite hearing on the news about potential slowdowns with the U.S. Postal Service. Hopefully you guys get that straightened out. Postal Service is important, lifeblood of the country. But that's neither here nor there. Canada's still a mess. Still taking a long time to get stuff anywhere, although it is better. Instead of like 3 weeks to Toronto, it might be 10 days now. But that still seems outrageous to me. But neither here nor there. Internationally, you'll get it eventually. I think they're still quoting up to 75 days for regular post. But, we have the upgraded DHL service, which is awesome. That get to you there within a couple days, 2-3 days. I think shipments, mostly I remember shipments that we sent to Germany that were there in 3 days, literally. They picked it up here on a Monday, and the person was telling me how much she loved their stuff on Thursday. So that was awesome. DHL. You pay a little more, and you get what you pay for. There was a question about duties and taxes because we sent a shipment into Florida, and the person got charged duties, which they hadn't been before. And the reason why is if you ship via U.S. Postal Service or via post, any packages under, I think it's $800. I'm not sure the amount, but I think it's around $800. Then that just goes through, the post, and the post doesn't do any handling or anything of that. They just pick it up and deliver it to you. It doesn't. I mean, it goes through customs, but it doesn't go through the official customs where there's paperwork and stamping and things and stuff. If you ship something with a courier service like DHL or FedEx or UPS, then they do have to clear the packages through customs, and even though you won't pay duties or taxes because it's under $800 and things, the companies that do the customs clearance, they'll charge you for that. So depending, I don't know what it is, like $12, $15, um, you know. So you just chalk that up as paying for the premium service. But if you ship via regular post, they don't clear through customs the same way. They just rubber stamp it literally, and it goes through up to $800. So we hope you spend that much money. What else? Just one more thing about the custom service. We're getting a lot of custom orders, which is awesome, which is great. And we really enjoy doing it, really love doing it. It's real fun, distraction from the day-to-day grind sort of thing. And it's an awesome service, and people are getting more and more creative with how they're starting. You don't have to be artistic. You don't have to be some fabulous jewelry designer concept that you have in your head. You can draw something. Well, I want it to look like a porcupine, and the stone will be the eyeballs. That whatever. We've had just this week. We've had a couple orders. For pendants with multiple stones, like one main stone in the middle and a smaller stone up above near the bail, and then ringed with, he's using moissanite, but cubic zirconias, if we were going to do them, or diamonds if we're using gold, we can do that. We can do anything. We're the factory. We can do what we want. So keep those custom orders in. Have a look at the website on the main page, actually from any page, because that menu bar is there in every page. One of the gold highlighted options is DIY jewelry. If you click on you don't have to click on it, just hover over that, and then as the menu bar comes down, it's under custom made jewelry. And there's an info page there that has all the information. Basically, for sterling items, it's $60 Canadian, 60 Canadian dollars for anything up to 5 grams. Obviously, if there's some crazy thing like maybe it's too big, or maybe it's complicated, and there's some pieces that have to be soldered together, that's more labor and stuff. So, but generally, I think like 95% of everything that we've ever done, custom-wise, has managed to fall in that category. Occasionally somebody will, we had a fellow who had this great big ring that ended up being a lot more than 5 grams, and it was a little bit more because he had to pay for more materials and stuff, but neither here nor there. And just compare that to going to a jeweler and saying, hey, I want you to make this ring. They're not even going to look at it for less than $300 or $400, just to get that design done. And then it might take them months to do it, literally. We have a real quick turnaround time, and it's just an awesome service. I don't think we've ever had anybody who was disappointed with their piece when they got it, right. So let's move on to clasps. Usually when people think of clasps, they think of, just a little tiny, lobster clasp or bolt ring, which I'll show you what those are in a minute. The little, things that are difficult to fumble with to try to get, get your things closed. And of course clasps can be that, but they could be so much more. I used to, and a long time ago, used to own a retail bead store, and we sold it was a huge bead store. We sold tons of semi-precious stones and crystal and thing, and it would always kind of blow me away how somebody would come in and they would spend $300 on a strand of beautiful tourmalines, and another $80 for sterling accent beads to go in between them, and they would string them on this silk cord or softflex cord or whatever, some premium all the way. And then they would spend like 35 cents on a stainless steel clasp. And it was just like, what? Why are you doing this? You've made this beautiful necklace with all this incredible stones that if you were to buy it in a department store or, I don't know, a jewelry store, would cost you, many, many hundreds of dollars, and you're putting a 35-cent clasp on it, I would always, try to get people to put something, especially the more grand your necklace is, the more grand your clasp should be. And I have some options here I'm going to show you later that the clasp doesn't have to be a nondescript thing that you stick, behind you. That there are clasps that we have that you can showcase as part of the front of your necklace. Like have it as a, as a component that's visible. That's look at this cool, clasp. That's part of my, design. And not some people don't like that thing, and that's fine. We have options for everybody. The most basic clasp, I think, let's see if I can get this in here, is, something like that. Let me move this closer. Right? That's not going to focus there. Okay. Just a regular standard lobster clasp, right? This one in particular is a 12 millimeter lobster clasp. This one doesn't have a ring, but most of the clasps that we have three versions of them. We have one plain one like this, that just has the clasp. We have another one with a ring that's unsoldered, that's open, and another one that has a ring that is soldered. For most of them. For some of them, we don't have all three versions of it, but most of the clasps, we have all three versions of those things. This is called a lobster clasp because it looks like a lobster claw. So, very clever name for a clever item here. This one that we were just looking at, LA104. 12 millimeter. Oh, yeah, let me explain that. When we say 12 millimeter, what we're talking about is this. If you look at the loop, the inside of the loop there, and the outside of that loop, right? If that were a complete, just forget about the rest of this for now. Whoops. Oh, that's a good idea. I was going to take a caliper. I would be measuring the outside edge of that. Right. So that one is 7.18. So that would be considered a 7 or an 8 millimeter.
The length.
The length.
Yeah. It's around
12.29. It's around 12 millimeters.
Yeah.
So close enough. That's not how to measure. Oh, well. Might have had these all open in advance. Here's a little bit smaller version of that same thing, right? This one is LA004. $1.12 is the retail price of these. These, of course, are all sterling, right? Whereas you could probably get one of those 35-cent clasps at a bead store in stainless steel. But why would you want to use stainless steel when you can use sterling? You know, it just it automatically adds credibility to your clasp. Now the other version of a lobster clasp is this a little bit longer one, right? It still kind of looks like a lobster. The body is a little bit longer, straighter, flatter. Still has that, you know, that hook, or that hook, and that opens up. And again, these versions, the long, thin ones, we've got, you know, with loops or without loops. Let me show you the biggest one that we've got of that style. Here's a pretty giant one. This one is 16 millimeters long. And the code number, I'm going to try not to spill these everywhere. LA105, $3.76. One interesting note about these clasps, these lobster clasps, and also the bolt rings, which I'll show you a little bit later. When they do purity tests on these, they have to take the pieces apart because there's a little on the lobster clasps. There's a little steel. It's like a spring, you know, kind of thing that holds the thing closed that you could pull open. And I mean, you could make that spring out of sterling silver, but it would just get brittle and hard and break after a couple of hundred times of pulling the clasp open. So you've got to make it out of steel. And if you were to take this whole thing and throw it in a crucible and melt it to assay it, which is the fancy word for figuring out what constituent metals are in the alloy that they're measuring, you would get a weird reading, like where is the steel coming from, sort of thing. So they have you know, to pull that out thing. So I guess the story is, or the moral of the story is, if you buy a bunch of clasps and then decide one day you don't want them and you want to melt them down, pull up a little steel spring and you can use that silver for casting something else, or it's casting grain. The here's a nice big one. Kind of a sucker for the bigger clasps myself, but I think that has more to do with the fact that I'm just kind of clumsy with this, right? So these are the same version as the other ones, only these have the loop already on them. This LA102Q is the code number, and $3.66 is a retail price, $2.48 is a wholesale price. Just a couple segues while we're looking at this clasp and this thing. All of our clasps and jump rings, anytime there's a letter Q in the code number, that means that the ring is soldered closed. Just so you know, if you don't want it to be soldered closed, make sure there's no Q in the SKU. And as far as the retail and the wholesale thing goes, the regular price, the retail price, is just the price, you know, if you're buying some. The wholesale price is available to you if you spend $150 or more. We just have a minimum for wholesale. It doesn't necessarily require you to have a business license or any kind of credentials besides the cash. So with a $150 minimum purchase, you can get the wholesale price. That's $150 at the wholesale price. So like for example, and it doesn't have to be $150 at the same thing, right? So this one here, $3.66 is a retail price. If you bought 50 of these, you would reach $150 at the retail level, but not $150 at the wholesale level. 50 of those, you would get $120 $23, 124, something like that. I can't do the math off the top of my head, but it'd be like 120 bucks. So you're in that weird nebulous zone where if you buy more stuff, you'll get it for cheaper. I know it seems bizarre. And I've had to explain this to some people at shows, you know, like their retail, they're buying stuff and their retail total comes to $130, and I'm like, look, you know, or their retail thing is like $161, and it'd be like, okay, look, you're at $161 at the retail level. If you just add, and I would do the math of the thing, if you just add like $30 wholesale worth of material, you could get the whole thing cheaper. And it's such a bizarre concept to people's minds that, wait a minute, if I spend X level, I'll get anything. Yes, you'll get more stuff for less money. So, and some people won't do it. They'll just say no. They'll think it's a, they can't wrap their head around it. I love that. But it's a thing. So just, you know, be mindful of that when you're ordering. When you're reaching that point where you're about $150, you know, retail, it might be worth it to just keep ordering more stuff. Well, I mean, I think it's always worth it for you to keep ordering more stuff, but I'm kind of a little biased. The other major kind of clasp that I think most people are familiar with are these bolt rings or spring rings. These are pretty complicated, you know, technically advanced items. I think most people don't realize there's like 5 components in this, individual parts that make these up. 5 or 4? I'm trying to remember from my fabrication classes ages ago. But they're not easy to manufacture, but they're also not super expensive. This one, 6mm clasp SL011. See, there's no Q, so that means that the loop is unsoldered. 42 cents each is a retail price, and 26 cents is a retail price. 50 cents. You know, it's like, how can you go wrong with a sterling silver clasp for 50 cents? And we have these, golly, I think the smallest one we've got is like 4 millimeters. 5 millimeters. And the biggest one is 8 millimeters? Just 8. 8. It says 8 millimeter. So there's an 8 millimeter version of that. This one, the SKU is SL100. 8 millimeter outside diameter. $1.77 is the retail price, and $1.62 is the wholesale price. Right. That's kind of like a classic bolt ring. And let me just switch cameras here. All the other clasps are basically variations on that basic concept, you know, something that you can open and close to connect to something else that you can open and close or not to close the necklace. I'm just going to show you this one. It's still kind of like a basic lobster clasp, but it's got one difference, is the little loop here is a swivel. Yeah. So and
the customer looking for this.
Yeah, we got a lot of people looking for swivels. Yeah. Swivel clasps. They just I don't know, they're more supple, they're more versatile, you know. And this one is pretty big. It's 20 millimeter, and that LA502, $12.60 is the retail price, and $7.84 is the wholesale price. And right,
we have different sizes.
We've got a couple different sizes of these. I'm not seeing them in this tray. I think they're in another tray. Okay, let me show you another kind of clasp. The classic S clasp, because it, it looks like an S. I don't want to make an S of myself, but this is a very nice clasp. Yeah, this one is cast. It looks like it's almost fabricated, and um, the wire wrapped, and you can see the detail, the ends of the wire on that coil, even though this whole thing is cast as an individual piece. So the original one was probably, not probably, I pretty much guarantee the original one was fabricated and then a mold made of it and cast. And this is super versatile clasp. All you need to have is, a necklace with a big jump ring at either end. And then you just hook that through there, and boom, and there you go. And this is another one of those things, or another one of those things that wouldn't look out of place, as put this as part of the component and part of the necklace. You probably can't see it, you're probably too far away, but imagine that this is part of the necklace as a component. That beautiful S-clasp is CL420, retail price $6.50, and the wholesale price is $5 on that. Here's a going to open a bunch. Right? There's another S-clasp, a little bit smaller one. That one's CL303. Retail price is $5. The wholesale price is $3.47. Nice little antiqued with a twisty. And we've got this one. It's really popular. I think because it's not very thick. It's pretty thick. It's probably, I don't know, 18 or 16 gauge thick. But it's not very big. It's nice and dainty. If you have any engraving skills, you can probably engrave, little initials on there or something. This CL332. Maybe it's real popular because it's only $2.63 for a sterling silver clasp. Can't go wrong. $1.74 is the hotel price of that, or the retail price of that. Here's one. Another nice S-clasp. This one actually has rings attached that you can use for the ends. But nice, with that granulation effect, on there kind of thing. Nice kind of bally looking clasp, S-clasp. This one is CL419. $14.01 is the retail price. $10.78 is the wholesale price. And just when you thought you couldn't stand it and they were all together too cute, there's another S-clasp with a star and a heart. Oh my god, it's so cute. And this one is CN143. Oh, so that's not a clasp, that's a connector. Let me see. Oh, okay, I picked up a wrong thing. So that's not a S-clasp because those ends are soldered closed. So that's a connector. Golly, that's cool. That's a great little component that you could put in a necklace or something, or golly, just dangle a loop from the top of that and a bead off the bottom of that, and that's an earring. Very cool. See, even I'm learning new things. Let me show you another one that. And we're going to get into another kind of variation called a hook and eye clasp, because it's a hook and an eye. So it's a hook and eye clasp. This has that lovely granulation, bally sort of detail, that belly bead details there. I want this to be closer. Right. This little beauty is CL008, $4.90 is a retail price, and $3.67 is a wholesale price. I better hurry up because I'm looking now. We're already at 32 minutes, and I'm not even halfway through all the clasps I wanted to go through today, because I tend to ramble. I don't know if you noticed that. And I did get a haircut last week, so I'm feeling much cooler, which is always good. Okay, another style of clasp altogether is called toggle clasp. And you know what? Let me get a basic, great big plain one version so you can see what it is. Here's a toggle clasp. It comes in two parts, right? A loop and a bar. And this loop attaches to one side of your clasp. This loop attaches to the other side of your clasp. And then to make the clasp work, you string this through the loop, right, with your necklace, and then that holds on to it like that, right, strings through. And I know that when you're looking at it, it doesn't look like, golly, how secure is that? But once the weight of the necklace is on, is going through that loop, right? The bar is meant to be long enough that it can't go through the loop unless you physically pull it open and turn it perpendicular and then pull it through, right? I find these clasps super easy to open and close. They're also really interesting looking. This one, TGA for toggle, I guess. 1060, $15.70 is the retail price, and $9.42 is a wholesale price. This is a monster though. 24 millimeters. It's giant clasp. Love it. And we've got that style of clasp. I think the smallest we've got is this. Is that. Right, so there's the loop, and there's the bar. And that one, TGA 008. I'm going to spill these everywhere. $2.99 is the retail price, and $2 is the wholesale price. This is only 8 millimeters wide. That other one, what was it? 24 millimeters, something? Yeah, 24 millimeters. So huge, huge. Put those together. And we've got other sizes of that same very basic, very simple bar and loop. TGA 012, 11.8, we'll call it 12 millimeters, $9.43 a retail price, $6.29 is a wholesale price on those. And thanks, Marvel. And you can't go wrong. We have these also in other, very simple versions of the same thing, but with interesting, wire effects. This is like a twisted wire one. I don't know if you can see that texture there. You can see that there, right? Twisted wire effect on that one. Code number TGA1021, 14.6 millimeters, the outside diameter of the loop. $12.58 retail price. $7.73 is the wholesale price. That's really nice. And obviously these kinds of toggle clasps can get really interesting. I was going to say extreme, but I don't think that's as good a marketing word as interesting. Right, kind of a nice little flowery effect with the loop and the bar. Again, once this is together, you know, really secure unless you're doing, you know, jumping jacks or something, which you shouldn't be doing with jewelry on anyway. TGA 1061 is the SKU for that, $4.08 and $2.55 for this toggle clasp. Here's a little bit different thing. It's in this tray, so I'm going to talk about it now, but I was going to talk about multi-strands later. Oops. This is a multi-strand clasp that's a hook and eye clasp, right? So the hook is there and the eye is there. That just hooks through, boing, like that. Clip, come on, there we go. And then there's 3 loops here on either side. You know, so if you have, you know, one of those beautiful multi-strand necklaces, you can bring this all together up into, you know, 3 loops. So as your necklace lays over your, around your neck and over your shoulders, it can be splayed out instead of all being bunched up together. And that's a kind of a really gorgeous one. The code for that is CL396. Retail price is $7.67, and the wholesale price is $5.90. Beautiful antiqued, you know, kind of almost Art Deco inspired, you know, kind of look to it. Definitely something you could see that you can imagine that coming, walking right off the pages of a 1920s novel. There's some more multi-strand clasps. Let me just start with the biggest one, probably. Here's another clasp that is a tube clasp, right? This is 6 loops on either side, you know, and you see these, especially, you know, people do like peyote stitch, or they'll do like loom work, you know, where you have a, you know, a big wide band, you know, especially for a bracelet. You can definitely use this for a multi-strand necklace, but this just comes apart. Ugh. Right, slides apart. There's a little tension loop there that pushes in, right? So it's just a tube. Actually, it's 2 tubes, so one thinner one wider one. The one fits inside of each other, and there's a little channel on the other side for the loops to go through. That locks it closed, right? Keeps it tense. And that's it. I've seen these, you know, made this way. I've seen these made with magnets. I find the tension ones last longer than the magnet ones do. For some reason, those rare earth magnets are awesome when they're wider. But I think, right, so here's the same version, the 5-row clasp. I had to talk about any of the prices. So this one, this 5-row clasp is D10903. Retail price is $10.52, and the wholesale price $7.21. Super versatile. So we've got this in 6-strand, 5-strand, 4-strand, or 4 loops on it, and the smallest one got a 3-strand one, which I think for some reason is the most popular one. But the smallest one we've got is, yeah, two strands, right? Just that two loops, and that 2-loop one, that 2-strand one is where are you? D01900. $7.83 is the retail price. $5.10 is the wholesale price. Order now. Yeah, multi-strands are super popular, you know, in fashion jewelry. You just always need to have clasps to go with them. Now, this is not specifically a multi-strand clasp, or I don't know. I mean, you can use it for all kinds of things. But this, I think, is probably my favorite clasp that we have in the whole shop. Yeah, no, not maybe, definitely. I think it's my favorite one. It's a nice wide, you know, disc. It's a lanyard, right? So that, you know, pulls open. Right? You can, you know, connect whatever you want to that. This is one of those things that you can totally imagine this as a component in the necklace, right? So if you've got, imagine if you take your necklace and you, instead of stringing, you know, beads all the way to a terminus, like a, you know, a crimp tube or a calotte or something, if you made a loop of beads. Uh, at both ends, and then strung loop through, you know, through one side and one loop through the other side, and you open and close it this way. That way the necklace can go all the way around your neck, and you can highlight this, you know, in the middle, or you can have multi-strands out one side and a single strand out the other side. Just so many options. You can also use this as a necklace shortener. You know, if you've got uh, big long strand of beads or pearls, you know, like a, what do they call that? Matinee strand. You know, the big long strands of pearls. If you take that and you double them up, twist those around, or if you take the two ends and you pull the two ends together so they're doubled, and you put the two ends through this clasp, instantly half as long and twice as gorgeous. You know, with this clasp. Uh, so versatile, and God, so many ways you can use it, and I just think it's beautiful. You know, with that lovely granulation effect. This one, CL350, and the retail price is $21.91, and the wholesale price is $13.70. You know, golly, you can spend, you know, hundreds of dollars on a gorgeous strand of pearls, and you know, to put a simple lobster clasp on there, I don't know, it seems self-defeating. You know, you gotta put something gorgeous in there to make it really stand out and pop. Um, so you guys don't want to hear what I think is awesome. You guys want to see what's awesome. Um, Here's another. We got a couple of these lanyard, you know, clasps. This is just a round, you know, plain round one, nice big thick one again with that lanyard thing. Uh, Again, you could use this as a necklace enhancer or as a, you know, as a just a regular clasp. CL003L for large, because we have a medium and a small version of this too. This one is 19 millimeters is the outside diameter. Oh, see, look how good that is when it focuses the way I want. CL003L, $15.03 is the retail price, and $9.39 is the wholesale price. I just love that. Oops, sorry. I didn't make anybody's sick bumping that thing. So here's a little bit smaller version of that same thing, right? 15 millimeters CL476. Again, that lanyard with that thing. Can I do this with one hand? Yes. Right. $9.42 is the retail price, and $5.89 is the wholesale price. This is just one of those clasps that you don't often think of as a clasp, but once you start imagining how you can use these, you know, in different ways. God, I've seen them, you know, people just do incredible things with them. We've got an oval version of that same thing, right? Oval CL347, and that opens up, right? Oh, it's upside down, right? Just opens up like that. 1605 is the retail price, and $10.02 is the wholesale price. 22 millimeters long, 18 millimeters wide, right? So pretty big, nice and chunky. It's probably 4 millimeters wide, and the tube is hollow, right? So it's not super heavy, but still looks nice and chunky. And then extrapolating from there, we've got I've got a couple of these, but I don't see them in the tray that I'm looking at. Here's one it's a lobster clasp, right, with this loop here, and it's a kind of a lobster lanyard. Same thing with that thing that hooks in. It's another awesome clasp. CL376 with a retail price of $10.76 and a wholesale price of $6.72. Just love that. So, using clasps to dress up your piece isn't really how you should think of it. You should think of more of using your clasp to accentuate your piece, to highlight your piece, to make your piece of jewelry look. I don't know. I just find that if something is finished well, regardless of how beautiful the gemstones or whatever you're stringing together is. Or how impressive the stones are, or how expensive the stones are, or how expensive the stringing is. If you finish it well, it just adds that extra level of credibility. Like I was saying before, you can spend hundreds of dollars on strands of precious stones, sapphires or whatever. But if you put a junky craft store 50-cent clasp on there, it totally brings down the whole project. You may as well invest in. Do you believe in the piece or not? We are so far behind again because I talk too much. So here I'm just going to show you a bunch of real funky other ones, things that are just super interesting. Like this clasp, it opens two ways. One side is a lanyard, right, and the other side is a regular trigger, lobster clasp. And it's got this, super interesting, I don't know, Art Deco sort of design on there. So that's kind of like a double whammy clasp. It kind of opens both ways, two ways. CL369, $12.89 is the retail price, and $8.05 is the wholesale price. Can't get a good thing, right? So again, that side opens like a lanyard. I can't open that and on camera to show you. But an antique, very cool, very interesting. Yes. Another version of that same concept, right? Where there's one kind of a lobster, shaped lanyard, and this other side is a trigger with a heart-shaped, trigger, right? So I don't know. I can think of like 1,000 different ways to use these. Interesting. CL368 is the code number for this one. Oh yeah, I wish I could show both angles of this at the same time. $12.95 is the retail price, and $8.09 is the wholesale price. Just think of how, I don't know, how much more interesting this is than a regular old lobster clasp. And don't get me wrong, I love the regular old lobster clasp. We sell tons of them. So people are using them and people love them, and they're very, they're in the ends of every one of our finish chains has, those plain old lobster clasps. But I find that people who make jewelry, especially when they make jewelry to sell, are always looking for that, that thing that will give them that edge over whatever the guy in the next booth is selling, and all things being equal, if there's two necklaces and they're similar, stringing and similar materials, if one has a more interesting clasp, I personally would always be gravitate towards it, but that's just me. Here's another one of those double clasps, right, with the lobster kind of lanyard on the one side and the other trigger lobster on the other side with a cute little bow. Okay. These are, you can never find super interesting clasps like this anywhere else. CL367 is your code number, $13.92 the wholesale or the retail price, and $8.70 is the wholesale price. I don't know. I just think that you can't go wrong getting more original stuff into your jewelry. Here's a, oh, I'm going to show you this, and I've got a couple of others that are similar. This has the ends, right? So that has it's a cap with a bar in there that you would string, I don't know, your multi-strands or whatever through there, right? And then this opens and closes, and the other side is a heart, right, for the centerpiece. And that goes in there and closes, snap closes, and the other side also opens, right? I'm not going to do it, but get the idea. So it's a heart clasp, right? Just a hard centerpiece in the thing, with these two tension clasps with the caps on the ends. And I've got a couple more of these things I want to show you with the caps on the ends because they're also super versatile. And you can use, oh, but this is when I look at this, I always want to say, howdy, partner. Because I don't know why, but for some reason it looks very Western inspired to me, even though it's real not. It's really more ballet style, with that granulation thing. But this is a swivel clasp, right? A big, great big, giant lobster swivel clasp. There's no way you would want to hide this, behind your neck. You definitely want this to be out front, showing off your piece. CL020, $61.06 is your retail price, and $37.80 is your wholesale price. Super complicated to build that, to assemble that. It's a giant swivel. Here's one of those. I'm at 55 minutes. Crap. I'm gonna hurry along. Just make it more quicker. So here's a big. It's a bolt ring clasp, right? That opens up. Thing opens this way. These components. I'm trying to do this without looking. The loop that connects to the clasp, right? And then the other side is a beautiful fluted cap with a bar inside. So if you're doing multi-strands, this is like a perfect clasp for that, kind of thing. You would probably the first time you do it, you'd string all the ends together and then pull them through and pull it up to see how it looks. And then as you're doing it, the easiest way to do it is to take each strand individually, string it, around the bar, and then back through the last bead, tie a knot, snip the tail of string off, add a dab of super glue, and do that for all of the remaining things, or pull them all together at once through a big crimp tube or something. Boy, lots of ways you can use this. But this, automatically ups the finish level of your piece, right? Instead of, you know, having all kinds of junky threads lying around. CL309, $28.33 is your retail price. $20.67 is the wholesale price. Um, okay, I'm going to go quick. Let me just quickly show you a couple of these magnetic clasps. Here's a multi-strand, you know, clasp with a little safety chain on there. These pull apart and they reveal the rare earth magnets in there. Doing. These rare earth magnets are, you know, super strong. I know that people are reticent to use magnetic clasps because of that thing, that perception that, well, if it's magnetic, I'm sure it holds good, or it's easy to connect together. You just get the things anywhere near each other and they snap closed. So getting it closed is not a problem. But how secure is it? You know, they don't use just regular old magnets. You know, those gray magnets that you find anywhere. They use a rare earth magnet that are a lot stronger than normal magnets. They're a lot more expensive than normal magnets, so these magnetic clasps are, you know, the prices might seem higher than you would think, considering the size of the pieces. But honestly, those magnets are probably as expensive as the sterling in there. And then of course there's the you know, they've got to be assembled because the pieces have to be cast separately, and then there's so there's labor involved and stuff. Anyway, this one, beautiful 10 millimeter kind of oval, $24.89 is the retail price, $16.60 is the wholesale price, and we've got this, I think, is probably the most common one. It's just a little, right, two little half circles. Am I going to put? I managed to do it with the loops on the ends. And these are, oh, these are not going to spill out because they're all together. They're all, it's just a plain, you know, smooth two hemispheres. MC024, 7 millimeters, I guess, is the diameter of this. $13.20 is your retail price. $8.80 is your wholesale price. And yes, I know, because I've heard it at just about every show where someone asks to see metal magnetic clasps. Yes, you can probably find magnetic clasps cheaper at a bead store, but they're not sterling. You know, they're just, you know, plated, and that plating is going to come off, and I promise you, those magnets are going to get pulled out at some point. You know, so quality construction costs more. You get what you pay for. This, I can't even pull that open. Uh, there we go. Right, so two you know, low domes making a sphere, and this has a nice dimpled texture. MC025, $15.94, $10.63. That's an 8 millimeter sphere when it's completed. So, you know, don't be fearful of the security of these magnetic clasps. I promise, people are always kind of amazed once they get them on and once they get them used and once they start using them at how secure they actually are. Because, you know, if you use the right kind of magnets, again, they use these what are called rare earth magnets. The metal that they make them out of, they're just super. This is a cool one. It's two flat, you know, pieces, right? That snap together. Have a loop on the end, kind of a scalloped. Super interesting. And this one is MC023, 8 by 8 by 14.5. What is that? Let me see. Maybe, not sure how that measurement works. Probably 14 or so millimeters wide square. Anyway, $18.19 is your retail price. $12.13 is your wholesale price. Lots of these. There's only one more magnetic clasp I want to show you. And then we're going to move on. Here's another kind of flat one, a multi-strand clasp, right? which you might not see people using magnetic clasps for multi-strands, because multi-strands tend to get heavier. But these, they'll take the weight. That is MC018, 14 millimeters long for sure, probably 7 millimeters wide. The retail price $24.29, and the wholesale price is $16.20. Oh, I'm at 62 minutes. I'm going to show you one more clasp.
For this magnetic, we have a special design to prevent you can pull side to side. This stop, you only can open up and down.
Right,
You cannot,
right.
Yeah, this special
So,
design.
Marble pointed out a good point. One of the part of the design thing is that these can't slide. You can't pull these two things away from each other. Not only because of the magnets, but because there's a which side? Right, there's little tabs. Here.
Yeah. Stop.
I don't know if you can see that, like a stopper there, and there, so that when they're opposite each other, they lock in. So you can't pull them. Slide them sideways away from each other. Thing. You can only pull them directly away from each other that way, which is difficult because of the physics. I just wanted to show you this one because this is a new one, pretty new, or at least we haven't had it before. And I was just recently photoshopping the pictures of this, and I fell in love with it. It's just gorgeous. It's a tube clasp with, bar on both sides, right? One side, which I guess would be the front, probably bedecked with cubic zirconias set in there, bead and bright cut style. And this, how does that work again? Is it both sides have to pull open?
Push.
Oh, it's push, right.
Push.
So you push.
Yeah.
You push that side closed, and then that hook thing part springs open, right? So it's two parts. One part is the base, and the other side is that, and then you just squeeze that closed. Probably you don't have to squeeze it closed to get that closed, sort of thing. But and then that snaps right closed. And there's bars going in every direction inside here. One going along the entire length of the thing that you could string, behind, and two other bars here for security. This, if you're using, like a loom work or peyote stitch or well, you name it, any kind of super multi-strand clasp, you can use that for just about anything. I just love it. $43.26 is your retail price. $27.04 is your wholesale price. I'm at 65 minutes. I've gone over by 5 minutes again. I've still got 3 trays of clasps to show you. So I think the takeaway here is we have more clasps than I can possibly show you in 60 minutes. But I'm gonna try to show you a couple of just my favorites, and I'm just gonna mix up these things and find out where they go later. Here, right, is a gorgeous flame-shaped lanyard, lobster kind of clasp, right, with caps on the ends with the bars, again for stringing whatever through there. Cubic zirconias along the side. That one is $15.93 is your retail price. $9.96 is your wholesale price. When have you ever seen a clasp this gorgeous on a necklace and not automatically thought, wow, that's a necklace that I have to have? I'm going to get maybe one more from each tray. There's more of those those others. I think this is the biggest. Oh no, we've got one bigger. Oh, maybe not. More or less, yeah. This is just about the biggest version of this clasp that we've got, and God, I just love how versatile these are. Um, you know, with the caps already on the ends, there's so much less, fewer things you have to worry about. This CL305, $37.27, and $28.23 is your retail price. Um, you know, so good. Um, Here's just going back to toggle clasp, right? How cute is that? That's not a rhetorical question. I really want an answer. How cute is that? All right, great big rose thing, little flowery ends. That thing. That little rose toggle clasp. TGA1022, $8.03 is your retail price, and $5.62 is your wholesale price. Because now I'm just going everywhere. I'm all over the place. Look at this. The shape of this is just gorgeous. Can't go wrong with that. Beautiful, tapered, kind of pointy trigger lobster clasp. Right. With a nice big loop at the end. And, that one's pretty big. That's 26 millimeters long by 13 millimeters wide. The retail price is $15.20. Wholesale price is $9.50. So, you know what? Already at 70 minutes, so I'm trying to keep these to an hour. And I fail at it every time because once I get going, I just blah, 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 and I just want to keep going because I love this stuff. And, clasps are one of those things that are so not overlooked, but just overlooked. They're kind of an afterthought. People are so hung up on the design of their pieces and their things, which is important. Don't want to take away from that. It is definitely important to have beautiful design. Oh, you know what? I didn't even talk about any of the gold. We have these also. Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I don't care. Right. So, just lovely plain classic lobster clasps. In 18 karat gold. These are solid 18 karat gold. These are not plated. That one, KCL002, the retail price is $48.41, $37.16. That's the pretty big one though, 9 millimeters. I can show you just another plain one. There's a thing. I don't know if you could pick up the colors that much. The top one is yellow gold, and the bottom one there is rose gold. Probably can't really tell that much over the web with this, camera. But I don't know. If you see it in real life, you can definitely see the difference between. Well, obviously everybody knows the difference between yellow gold and rose gold. KCL007, $31.22 is the retail price. $29.07 is the wholesale price. And we've got also that other style of lobster clasp. Again, well, you can kind of see that yellow gold versus rose gold, right? That lobster clasp. KCL011K2, $30.94 is the retail price. $28.82 is the wholesale price. And you can tell, with these, where the difference between the retail and the wholesale price is not very big. It's because the margins are much smaller on gold. Somebody has Tammy! Hi, Tammy! Oh my God, nice to see you. I miss you too. I was just thinking about you guys, about you and Dale and all those people and Sherry Moran, all those guys I used to take every class. I thought, yeah, well, that's very cool. It's a little spring ring clasp, blast from the past. Right, just a little bolt ring. Again, I don't know if you can see the top is yellow gold, and the bottom is the rose gold, 18 karat gold, again, not plated. $6.96 is that right? It's got to be more than that. I think we did these when the price of gold was much lower, and it's been pretty volatile in the past couple of weeks. So get these now while they're still at this price, or unless before Marble figures out that he should update them. Yeah, $6.96 and $6.50. I was just saying about the difference between the retail and the wholesale prices, and how the margins are just so much smaller, so there's not really a lot of room, to mess around with that. There's a bunch more, but I'm not going to go into them. Again, I've already let this go 72 minutes. It's 12 minutes longer than I was supposed to go, and I did this again last week. But again, if you share this video, we'll send you a free polishing cloth, which is awesome. Just one thing, somebody mentioned that it was getting dirty and they washed it, and now it doesn't really work anymore. And don't wash these, right? The point of these is it's just a beautiful chamois material that's infused with a chemical that is a deoxidizer. So it'll help remove the cupric oxide from the surface of your silver or gold or brass or whatever. But then this cloth gets really dirty, and you could keep using this until it's black, and then keep using it, still. But don't ever wash it, because if you wash it, then it removes all the whatever nasty chemical is impregnated in the fabric of that. And it'll lose its efficacy, as they say in the medical field. So these anti-tarnishing cloths, will send you one of those. Got another question? Awesome show. Hey, thanks, Jim. Yay. Appreciate it. So share the video if you think it's awesome. And thumbs up. Give us is that a thing? Can you do thumbs up on the video? Yes, do a thumbs up on the video. No, that's on YouTube. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, thumbs up.
So wherever this video ends up, I hope you found it informative.
Thumbs
and
heart.
Oh, there's thumbs up and a heart.
Yeah.
Oh, the hearts are cute. I can't see them from the screen that I'm looking at. I'm looking at like camera 2. Anyway, so sorry I didn't get to all the clasps I wanted to, but you got a good sampling of the basic things that we do. Yay! Clap, clap, clap. Thanks, Tammy. God, it's awesome to see you, or I can not see you, but awesome that you're seeing me, I guess. Why that would be awesome, I have no idea, but I'm gratified that you joined us this morning, which we do again every Wednesday morning, 10:30 Pacific, extrapolated out to wherever you are, whatever your time zone is. SilviaFindings live stream. Again, sorry I didn't get to all the clasps. You could look it up on the website. You could see we've got hundreds of different kinds of clasps there. But I think I did cover all the basic subcategories of clasps that we have, between the raw lobsters and the toggles and the lanyards and the multi-strands and the you name it. We've got it. So take care of yourself, have fun, keep creating stuff, and we'll join you here again. Again, I feel like I'm forgetting something that I should be talking about. I did that last week, and I never recovered whatever it was that I thought I was going to remember, so I didn't. So maybe it's just, that age. You reach that point where you don't remember things, and I don't care. It's all good. If I can't remember it, it couldn't be important, is what my dad used to say. If you can't remember it, couldn't be important. Which is my way of saying, I'm sorry I'm taking so long to get off here. 76 minutes, I'm way over. Have a good week. We will see you next week. Join us again next week, which we'll talk about, I don't know, I'll think of something between now and then to talk about next week. Take care. Bye-bye. We're good? We're out?